Yes, you are delaying it. We were supposed to be at I can't remember, but
One,
you're
one
delaying it.
o'clock.
Yeah,
Um,
you have to go live.
We are
It's
live. I was just letting you
then why
finish.
didn't you say something? I can't. I
they're
should.
I
live.
literally,
Jesus,
I literally.
Ron. My microphone's not even. You're such a
Good,
naughty man. You
good
are.
afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. We're just having a slight meltdown here.
Oh my God,
And
forget it.
Danny's still putting a mic together. We know what we're doing here, okay? We know what we're doing. So
Very
listen,
professional.
thank you all for being here. We've got the wonderful Danny Henderson here once again with us today and looking very much forward to getting her input. We're delving today into, of course, the Hayden case, but we're
Oh
going
my God.
to kind of dial in a little bit on Room 23 and exactly who was in it and how many of these people are no longer with us.
Well, did you see the statement the mother put out?
No, could you do me a favor though? Can you talk about that?
Puke inducing.
Can you grab that and stick it up on the screen? I need a friend of mine's just messaged me and said that their father's just passed away, and I need to just a friend of mine. I just need to go and make sure she's okay.
Oh.
So I'll look for Hayden's mother's statement.
She makes it sound as though Hayden put herself at 8 months old in Hollywood. Like, oh, when you grow up in Hollywood, you're bound to have these kinds of experiences and stuff like that. Or,
No, she never said that, did she?
Yeah, she says growing up in Hollywood is a terrible thing. Yes.
So why was she pushing her daughter into working in Hollywood?
Well, when you're 8 months, what 8 months up till you're 16 or 18? What choice do you? Well, you get more vocal as you speak, but she's saying that when you grow up, everybody on X is going like crazy. Is this woman acting like Hayden put herself out there? You know?
Yeah, exactly. So the two big things we're looking into today is, like I say, is the Room 23 and also Hayden's handler. Sorry, I mean ex-partner Brian. And we're going to have a look at some of that too. And Danny is Danny's getting thrown in the deep end with this one today. And she's going to be giving her expert.
This is what she says too. I'm going to say what she says.
Yeah, do that. I'm going to go and check on my friend. I'll leave you here for 2 minutes, Paula, and I'll be right back.
I think Hayden was an amazingly talented person in so many departments. And I think young people who grow up in the entertainment industry, it is a struggle and it's a very challenging industry. And it is not unusual for them to sadly find the wrong path. There is a lot of history in the past that Brian has enabled Hayden many times, and this is why her father and I had been concerned for a long time about him. No contact was a choice I made for very specific reasons, and certainly not for lack of care, concern, love. I think it becomes very difficult to be true to yourself, and I think Hayden sadly lost her way, and I wish it were different. I wish she had stayed true to herself because she had many incredible attributes. I just feel that she's with her brother and they're at peace. The present drama is partially to sell books. I mean, there is a personality style which manifests as a need for control, entitlement, and lack of empathy. I mean, I don't. What does she mean?
Well, you know what I can hear there, Paula? The fact that this lady has now had to bury 2 children. I am hearing a disassociation, which is a chronic reaction to deep and severe trauma. And losing 2 children, I mean, can we even imagine what that would be like? And I'm obviously not supporting her it looks like she's trying to put the blame on her daughter. It's a very confusing message. But her as a mother, giving that disassociative kind of feeling about this, I think that's got something that plays in here.
Oh, listen.
I think it's a lack of accountability that she had any say in it. It's my take on it. It's like, it's Hayden thing. She didn't stay true to herself. It's like, I didn't play a part in this other than the fact that you inserted this baby from 8 months old into the world. You put her on the predator's path. And then she's saying that she distanced herself. No, her daughter said Don't be my manager, be my mother. To me, I don't see any like disassociation, but I'm not knowledgeable like you are. To me, I see a person who's distancing herself, because if it were me bearing my second child, knock on wood, well, I only have one, I wouldn't be saying any of those things. I'd be saying, please respect my space. I'm very sorry for whatever misunderstandings my daughter had. I wish I had more time with her to fix everything. But now she's blaming the boyfriend, who clearly is a douchebag. But she's worse than a douchebag. She was the mother. Mother to me is somebody. I try. My son is 25. He's way taller than me, way stronger than me. I can tell you, anybody touches my son, even if it's a 10-foot man, I don't care if he beats me to a pulp. I will try to get him. Because I'm a mother. I wouldn't. My job, and this is how I see it. My job as a mother is to protect my kid, even if I'm 95 and he's like 6'8" or whatever. I will see myself as a mother. That I will never put a statement that's derogatory toward my daughter's memory, saying, "Oh, it's Hollywood. That's terrible." You were the mother. You were supposed to look out for your daughter.
Yeah.
She's a douchebag.
There's another way of looking at the way that she's responding, and that's the classic narcissist. And I know there's so much conversation about narcissists. I think every single person, without exception, has an element of the narcissist in them. I think there's an element of every archetype in everyone, but people have a hard time admitting that they could be a narcissist. I know that I've had narcissistic traits. I'm fine with admitting that. Another way to look at this is the mother as a narcissist, having been rejected as the manager, who was clearly the whole reason her little girl even was in Hollywood in the first place, is at this stage also feeling that righteousness that a narcissist feels when, well, if you'd listened to me, if I'd been the one to manage you, maybe this wouldn't have happened. Or see what you got now, see what happened to you.
Yeah.
There's different ways to spin it, but of course we're only, postulating here. We don't actually know. We're only kind of really
and just keep in mind that up until the day that Hayden died, she had no relationship with her mother. The last thing her mother said to her when she walked out or she left, I don't know what the story is, but her mother ended up saying to her, "If you do this, you owe me." And that was the last thing that she said to her, because she owes her for all of the time and effort she's put into Hayden's career. Okay. So it's very interesting now that we're getting a statement that says something a little different. And also, when you're saying about we all have a little bit of narcissism in us, every single person here has got what you call healthy narcissism, where, if a car is hurtling towards you, you go, actually, I want to be alive, right? Which is quite selfish and narcissistic of you, by the way. And
God, how dare you.
Right?
Yeah.
So look, I'm going to read a little bit of this article because it's Paula, right? Paula delivers the news in factual form every time when she comes on the show. And I look at her and I go, there's no way that's true, Paula. There's no way it's this bad. And it's every time it's this bad.
Sometimes the truth is weirder than fiction, isn't it? And because it's so weird, and yes, I might say the word, but our moral, depending on your moral compass, if you have how screwed up you are, you will think some things are okay, and but if you are a different person, and you might believe it. If you're a decent person, you will think there's no way that this can happen. And sometimes when you read it, you go, crap. And you try to reject it. Your body rejects it. It's like almost self-harm. Your body's is not programmed to self-harm. This is why unaliving yourself is such a hard thing, I believe. Yeah. But yeah, that's what I send Ron, and Ron doesn't believe me a lot of times.
Oh, you know what it is? It's because I love you to bits, and it's like you find the stuff that's so shocking, and then you relay it, and I'm like, there's no way this can also be true. Of course it's true. Of course, Paula only tells the truth. But man,
well, as I know, whatever, as I know it, like I will recant if the news is found not factual, clearly.
Of course. And like I say, my whole fandom with Hayden was through my obsession with Heroes. Like I've probably watched through Heroes about 5 times in my life. Obviously not the last season. Okay, writers and producers of the show. Okay, but up until that point, it's just incredible. Now, what I couldn't believe was when I went looking into this Room 23 thing. Right, so I'm going to run off. I'm going to list off all of the celebrities that are in Room 23. Okay. You've got Ashanti, Amanda Bynes, James Blunt, Roberto Cavalli, George Clooney, Cindy Crawford, Minnie Driver, Dennis Hopper, Rachel Hunter, Elton John, Kid Rock, Heidi Klum, Ray Liotta, Lindsay Lohan, Kelly Lynch, Tamara Mellon, Johnny Lee Miller, Moby, Tajana Patitz, Hayden, Lisa Lisa Rinna, Christian Slater, Sharon Stone, Donald Sutherland, Cheryl Teagues, Tony Ward, Ludacris, Gavin Rossdale, and Larry King. Okay. That's a lot of celebrities in a book. All right. And obviously, this was a photography book that had some pretty interesting images. We looked at Hayden's images yesterday. And what gets really interesting is we have a bunch of people who are no longer with us. Dennis Hopper, no longer with us. One of the producers who had strong connections with, what are we going to call this woman today? Does this call her the spawn of Satan for today?
Well, by the way, Diana Jenkins came out and said that's not me, the woman she's talking about.
Yeah, I would do the same thing.
Sue anybody. She's going to sue anybody who says that she is the one.
Well, it's not me that said it. It's allegedly. It's all allegedly. It's a big fat allegedly. And
one of the things that's interesting about that list, Amanda Burns, the lady, we showed you how she went. Remember, I probably don't remember her, but if you Google Amanda Burns before and after, and she was with Hayden Panettiere, and she did a live. It was there. Oh my God, Ron. The ex-boyfriend went live.
No, he never.
Yes, he did. I sent you the thing, but I don't know how to retract the lives on Instagram or whatever the hell you do. He went live. And his brother and him were with her at the time.
Oh, we're going to get to that, Miss Paula. Oh, Paula M. We're going to get to that, okay? Because I'm telling you.
So are you talking about Amanda Burns' ex-boyfriend?
No, we're talking about.
We're talking about Hayden. Him and his brother with her, and they had Narcan. And from what I remember, Narcan is to resuscitate. So it seems that this is something that was happening quite regularly, because for you to have a medication to resuscitate somebody, it's because you're prone to not be alive. That's what
I'll be honest with you. She was in a southern state, right? When she died, it was a southern state she was in, yeah?
South Carolina, I think she was.
Yeah. The Narcan is sold in every shop, just so you know.
Yeah, but it's not whether it's sold or not. It's the purpose of the medication.
No, I get that, but like, trust me, there is some zombies walking around. Some people just have it just. I don't. She needs it because she was an addict. Like, I get that.
Put the alleged thing on the bottom, the banner.
Oh, yes.
And so we often find that people who have, existing situations like epilepsy need emergency medicine because we don't know when they're going to have a seizure. Was there any indication?
Oh no, she was a straight up substance abusing addict, right, for most of her life. Now, the reasons behind why she got led to that path, we won't split those hairs. But personally, I believe that women like Hayden, who are brought into this industry in a young age, like, to sit here and say, oh, we can definitely say that she was in control of her substance abuse. There's substances out there that you can take or be given to you, and you will have no memory of anything. And if someone pumps you full of crack and heroin whilst you're on that substance, you're going to wake up very confused and an addict and be shown videos of you doing terrible things to people because you've been devil's breathed, basically. So
I just want to say something, like yesterday we were talking about this man being, thank you, it's the lighting. When you have good lighting, you look younger. It's good lighting inside. But this douche, this boyfriend, because they were still girlfriend, and she flew with him, so they were back on, I assume, right? It's like, I was thinking yesterday, Ron, I feel that he was providing her with drugs and keeping her addicted, because I believe that could be a codependency in that sense, because she was trying to get cleaned up. And from what I read, 3 days prior to her death, he had applied to a federal judge or something to sponge his record, and it had been denied.
Mm.
So, the record of beating her, and that it was denied. But I was wondering, because maybe, you're trying to get out. It's unfortunate that she couldn't, like she said, he was a bad weed. He just kept popping up. It's too bad. She just didn't I don't believe in putting chemicals on soil, but I believe that this kind of soil, I would have used sulfur just to burn the hell out of this weed, but it's too bad that she kept going back to him. And I wonder whether it was the drug dependency,
I'll
because
be
he
honest.
might have been
Right?
feeding her the drugs or
I'll
putting
be
it in
honest.
drinks and stuff like that.
Like Paula, I'm going to be honest. I cannot look at this man and see anything but her handler. That's what that he gives me handler vibes.
Why?
What are you saying, buddy? Like he talks out the side of his mouth like Owen Wilson, like this. Now. Well,
Why?
Dad,
Oh,
let me tell you about when I punched her in the face. Do you know what I
oh
mean?
God.
He's bananas. He's bananas, and the vibe he gives off is very bizarre. And I like Paula. I could fully get behind the narrative that he is part of the problem when it comes to the substances. But for me, this guy gives major weird handler vibes.
Douchebaggy
And
vibes.
listen, for those of you who
He's a
think,
douchebag. That's his name. His middle name should be Brian Douchebag, whatever
yeah,
his name is.
yeah, can you guys do me a favor? Can you guys send out some likes and some shares for me? Let's push out the little show today. And I just want to circle back before we jump, because we are going to be coming back to Brian. We really are.
Oh,
But I just need to go through the lists of people who are no longer with us from this book. We've got Dennis Hopper. We've got Jerry Weintraub, who was a Hollywood producer who had major connections but wasn't necessarily in the book. Unalived. Ray Liotta, no longer with us. Dennis Hopper, no longer with us. Other deceased people with a wider Jenkins and Hollywood orbit. Like, I'm going to say, like, there's a lot of people who pass away from old age and all of this kind of stuff. But the way that Hayden was conducting herself for the last few months, and the fact that she wrote a book, and the fact that she put out scenarios, she never named people, but putting out a scenario where you are given the details of things like walking down that staircase, being put in front of a 30-year-old British singer who allegedly is called James Blunt. That's enough of a threat to some of these people. And the rumors about Miss Jenkins and her allegedly supposed, not in my opinion, in public opinion, human transportation shenanigans, right? Like, there is, when we're looking at tens of billions of dollars in criminal funds that this sort of enterprise, if it exists allegedly, would take in. People like Hayden are simply loose ends. People like Virginia Giuffre are just loose ends. And the people at the top of the tower, the Epstein or the Miss Schwenkens of the world, they need to keep their clients happy. They need to keep their enterprise running. And for me, when you have a 911 call and the 911 call edits out the conversation with the person who made the 911 call, we've all heard 911 calls where people have remained anonymous and they put the weird like voice augment over
Yeah.
the top of it. So why if her brother and why if her handler and his brother, if they were both in the apartment, prove it. Play the first part of that 911 call, because I'm sorry, there's no way in this world you're going to tell me that I have to believe that those two people were the only people there and we're not getting to hear the 911 call. It makes zero
they
sense.
were the only two people there.
But
And it allegedly was the brother who found her unresponsive while Brian slept next room.
I just don't understand.
And I don't understand why they're hiding the 911 call if it was the guy who called, because it was the guy who the brother, and apparently they were not even really trying to resuscitate her, and they were really unemotional until she was pronounced dead. And I even have, when somebody was I sent it, but I don't know if you can access it, when they were pulling her out of the apartment building in the ambulances and stuff like that. But I wanted to ask you something, Ron, because
Yeah.
I've read a lot about James Blunt, but James Blunt is a minor celebrity, and Hayden
No, no,
Panettiere
no,
is
no, 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 no. He is now, right? But the period of time we are talking about, James Blunt had one of the most mad careers in the UK. Like, he was effing huge, and no one understood why. Like, the man sung a song called "Beautiful," and it stated listen, he's the male Kardashians. How is this guy famous? Who does he know? What's going on here?
Well,
Because
it was a great song, and he had a good story, and he came out of the military, and he wrote this song, and he was just a next door neighbor, like plain looking boy, very skinny, nothing drop dead gorgeous, and yeah, he was everywhere. He was everywhere, and
because
there's
of that
lots.
song, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was that song, "You're Beautiful," and
Yeah,
it was
yeah, no,
really
no, but
catchy, and yeah. I mean, we know there are deals done and there are promises made, and certain things have to be done to, shoot someone right up to the, I mean, so many people go through it. We've all had invitations. When you're talking about Jenkins, and basically her background being a Bosnian Muslim. Now, we know how Muslim women are repressed. They're a completely different subspecies according to their male counterparts. So this woman has grown up in a Bosnian Muslim environment. At some point, whatever that background is there, I don't know because I don't know her. She's married an extremely wealthy person, and now she's bridging conversations as somebody with kind of Middle Eastern abilities between Barclays Bank, Qatar funding, creating connections with George Clooney, with a stint on the Housewives of Beverly Hills. I mean, that's going to elevate you. And then getting involved with Haitian relief. And we know how these little Haitian children have been treated on that island, which half the island is the Dominican Republic and the other half is Haiti. That was targeted by the Clintons. A woman who was part of that was somebody who set up the Amber Alerts, which all across America, when a child goes missing, the signs pop up on the freeways or the motorways. You see the name of the number plate, the car color, and the child and the age of the child. And then it was proven that these people are trafficking through Amber Alert. So, if you look at all of that background there, and you look at where we are today, and you discussing the Jenkins women, it's a clinical map of what other people having a similar background. Or the Jenkins woman went through the Bosnian trauma. None of us were there. We don't know what that does to you. But she changed her name after that. She changed her identity. I read a statement where she says, I removed that little girl, Selena, whatever the first name was, died that day, and her brother died. So she's traumatized in the war, and then went by the name of Deanna or Diana, however you pronounce it. So that's kind of all I'm
with you. But you know what's interesting? She gave over $1 million to the Clintons and the Clinton Foundation.
They don't need anyone's money. They've stolen enough money.
I'm pretty sure it was during the peak of the Haiti time as well. So great point. But it's interesting because war-torn countries and trauma, if anyone wants to know more about this, go and have a look at the two-generational effect of the World War II veterans who came home and the trauma that they had, that they pushed sadly onto their families and things like this. And it's just a sad consequence of war. But the biggest data study of it across World War II it's bananas. And they say it's 2 generations of trauma. Like, by the time that father from World War II's children have kids, I'll be when the residual trauma of that whole horrific period would be gone. So they say. And again, I'm just going along with, I'm just sort of adding on to what Danny said. But Miss Jenkins, right? And the individuals who are dropping. Another one is Brittany Murphy. We were going to speak about this yesterday, Paula, but I wanted to wait until today because I wanted to get your info on it, because we looked at...
Died of pneumonia. Wink, wink.
She did wink, wink.
You know, she
But
died of pneumonia. She was partly with Ashton Kutcher. Ashton Kutcher is a shady character. And you will find, just like Meghan Markle, Ashton Kutcher is central to
okay,
many
do you know
of
what
the
we're going to do? We're going to call Ashton Kutcher, right, a Diddy finder, right? Because we know how well he was tied in with Diddy, right?
Yeah.
So he's also tied in with Ron Burkle, right?
Oh, well,
Ron Burkle.
they're investors in Soho House.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. So then you also have the attachment now you just said where Brittany Murphy and him were friends or were something. Brittany Murphy and Ashton Kutcher were connected. And Brittany Murphy and Hayden are connected. And Brittany Murphy and Jenkins are connected. So do you see all the little 2 degrees of separations of threads that are just leaning all of this back? And you almost have, if you imagine you've got like, I don't know, the difference between say a custodian, a janitor, and how they can dress themselves for work and like some CEO in his $10 million suit, right? It's almost like we've got individuals who are handling their own circle of fame, right? So, for example, the Ashton Kutchers are connected to Brittany Murphy, connected to oh god, I can't remember the other woman's name, the lady from that 70s show. There seems to be these
Mila Kunis.
yeah, thank you, these little pockets that look after their demographic of future traumatized survivor, if you will. But here's the problem. A lot of people are saying, oh, she's washed up. She got what she deserved. It was, she got, she wasn't getting the work anymore. This is why she was turning on them all and all of that. It's super easy to say all that, and I understand that, right? Ron personally believes that this poor girl was involved in some horrific Hollywood demonic contracting when she was in her mother's womb. And all of this was set up to facilitate the mother's wants, if you will. At least that's the vibe I get. And now that she's in it, she's got her handler, she's got this boyfriend who just is the most bizarre individual ever. It all just it all rings home so. Like we've heard this before. We've heard this story before.
Yeah.
Like we just went here with Virginia. Do you know what I mean? It's like when are they going? Like, and here's another thing, right? Here's another thing. I even said to you yesterday, Danny. It was like, they couldn't have made this a self-unaliving. Like Hayden's is going to have to be put down to an accident or an accidental OD because you can't have the same thing twice. You can't go kill the girl in Australia and then take out the girl in America in the same way. Do you know what I mean?
It's so easy. It's so easy to do that. So if you look at like Britney Spears, Hayden, Selena Gomez, Brittany Murphy, the little singer that sang about the coffee, the little blonde girl, beautiful, blew up massively. You know who I mean? American Girl, dated the guy from the film Saltburn. I forget her name.
Oh, there you go. That's interesting.
Right? They're all a type. They're all little tiny girls, little beautiful short baby girls, beautifully pretty, come up the ranks in Disney or whatever, all have a similar body type until they get the boobs and the lips, and they're all a type. I heard, and I have absolutely no proof, so this is allegedly, of course, just adding something into the field here, that there was such an obsession with the newest little blonde thing. And I think she's absolutely lovely and talented. I've forgotten her name. Who was it?
I don't know. Can you tell me something she was in?
Christina Aguilera.
Oh, Sabrina Carpenter.
Sabrina Carpenter. Again, another little.
Thank you.
These pedophiles, the PDF files, they have a type, and they bring the girls in, and they don't care about their backgrounds, and they get them hooked and addicted, and we know that en masse in every single industry: movies, music, modeling. It's all the same. It's all the same beast system. So they have a type. I heard that we have cloning technology. We know that to be true. You've only got to look at Dolly the sheep to make the jump.
Yeah.
That's not true.
Thank you.
So I heard that Sabrina and other little girls or women like her had their own clones that were being passed around by the filthy old men at the top. And having met some of these hideous monsters in Hollywood, absolutely, I would concur that these things do happen. And it's very mentally sickening to imagine, because the regular human would never imagine that anything so evil is there. And then when these children, now young women, become bothersome, they are taken out. Now, if you look at the classic MK Ultra, let's take Kathy O'Brien. Kathy O'Brien survived her MK Ultra trauma.
Yep.
She was passed around the American government during the Bush administration. There is a known fact that if you have subjected someone to trauma, torture over and over and over again, when they hit the age of 30, the brain starts to react in a certain way and shift, and a lot of memories start to come back around that time. This is absolute categorical fact. So you have to look at these young girls and what they've witnessed and been through, get to a certain age, and then what's starting to come back to them, what kind of memories, what have they done, what have they, it's just pretty awful all around that anyone would even go through anything like this, but it is a fact, and I think we should put that on the table too.
I completely agree, and I just want to reiterate, right? I found a couple of images. Somebody was talking about this man earlier in the side chat, and that is something I think you should all just keep picking at the label of. All right, I'm not saying anything. You've not heard me say anything, so I'm not saying anything. But there
was a clip because about Elle Fanning. She's an amazing actress, and she was auditioning for a role about a daughter and father, a young daughter and father road trip. Right? Look what the role was. The movie was about a father and daughter road trip. Right? And she's talking at the table that she didn't get the job because she was about 8 or 9 years old. That she was unfuckable. She appeared not like, when you looked at her, men didn't want to F her. So she didn't get the role for that. Well, she was auditioning for a movie role about a father and daughter road trip. The directors found that she wasn't fuckable. She wasn't appealing to men because her appeals were not too sexual.
Yeah. So Enigma,
6 or 7 years old. Who is going to look at a child actor and think, "Oh, we can't give her the role because she's not sexy enough"?
Oh man, it really is bonkers, right? It really is bonkers. So
yeah, it's there. I sent you that clip, Ron. She's like
Enigma. There's your answer on the screen now, mate. I'm just limiting how many times I say it.
Also, Ariana Grande. We didn't mention her.
Oh yeah, Ariana Grande as well. But this is again, Danny and you make the points that we've got another holding pen to add to the red thread list, and that's Disney, that's Nickelodeon. These are. Do you know what? I think we need to go full Ryan Dawson with this and make a visual. I think we need a mind map of all of this because I need to see things. Like if anyone else works visually, like I need to see this. So I think we might have to start putting something together. I've got a bit of software that I can set up everyone on Discord for doing like a team effort for adding names and putting bits in and all this stuff. Because Ryan Dawson's poster of the Epstein network is just like, if you're ever going to buy anyone's merch, buy Ryan Dawson's poster of the whole Schwepstein network, because
he's so clever, that guy. This is the guy that comes on with Sean a lot. Brilliant mind. And does he have a vision issue at the moment?
I think at one point it was looking really bad, but I think he's got the all clear now.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, he's very clever. He's very he's a great researcher.
Oh, yes. And, you know he's a good researcher because the minute he goes and tries to set up his own platform, 30 seconds later, there is no more platform left for him. So, big shout out Ryan Dawson. Ron needs do you know what Ron needs? Ron needs a white wall, okay? Like, he needs a white wall. That's what he needs, with magnets and stuff. In fact, we might turn one of these big walls into something because I need it anyway.
I just want to point something out. I just want to briefly point something out, that all these people like Brittany Murphy, Hayden Panettiere, I'm looking at that. They're very tiny in presence because if you look at Elle Fanning is tall. But these girls look like childlike even when they grow up. You know, it's like
Yeah.
again, Hayden Panettiere. Now you have Ariana Grande.
Yeah.
Do you
And
have all
Selena
those?
Gomez. They were
Selena
all little
Gomez,
tiny,
Britney Spears.
all
They're
little
very
tiny
tiny.
girls. That's what I
Yeah.
was saying earlier. There's a
Yeah.
type. They go from
Yeah.
little girls to women. You
Yep.
know, apart from when they change with lips and boobs and poor Selena Gomez, I don't know what that little one has done to herself over the years, but there's so much trauma in these little ones and eating disorders, and they've just been exposed to so much. I mean, it's so
Yeah.
hard for them to handle everything. I mean, it's just they're asked and expected to do so much. It's horrific.
It really is. And you know, you mentioned Sabrina Carpenter earlier, right?
Hmm.
And she kind of came out of nowhere, super massive career. I'm pretty sure she's done pretty much done it all now. You know, collaboration wise and opening for massive guests, and she's huge. She is freaking huge. Did you see her Christmas special on Netflix?
No, I really don't
Like
follow her much. I don't
we're
find her
talking
appealing.
about this petite little blonde lady, right? And I mean, you know, it was very cabaret-ish, right? But I mean, she doesn't hold back on the outfits. All right, let's just put it that way. Okay, she doesn't hold back on the outfits. And I'll be honest with you, that is the most recent. Oh my god, alarm bells are ringing. Is Sabrina Carpenter for me? Like, we are we going to see the same narrative play out for this poor girl? And
Well, it depends who she's got around her. Depends who she's got looking after her. 'Cause she was dating that actor who was in Saltburn. That film blew up. That propelled him to the very front of the stage as well, if you remember. And yet he is also this. He shows signs of the signature trauma that we see with MK Ultra or abuse, and he's spoken about things that have happened to him. And he's kind of taken a bit of a backseat, can't handle his own looks. He can look very beautiful in one shot and not so great in another, according to his own words. And, you know, trauma bonded, you know, couples, there's a lot of trauma bonding that happens. They understand each other. And, you know, that relationship blew up apparently. But as you say, she came from, we hadn't seen her. Apparently there was some acting credentials way back down the timeline, but she did blow up very, very quickly. And, you know, everyone knows there's no such thing as an overnight success.
Yeah, this is not like Michael Jackson, who started at the age of 3, 4, and you know they work their way to the top, you know, or yeah, like Britney Spears started very young, and you know she worked her way, whatever, you know, she was horribly exploited. But when you have these literally, because Sabrina Carpenter, I believe, is quite young, and you don't see that she was doing the road trips and concerts or whatever, you know. And
Yeah.
I heard her voice, and probably there's fans on the chat, but I don't find her particularly talented. Just like James Blunt, now I have a chance to look at who he is. The only song I know,
Oh, yeah,
to me,
that's
he's a
right.
one-hit wonder. To me, he's a one-hit wonder. He's an Eton boy. He's very friendly with the Royals. There's always some connection,
oh
you
yeah,
know.
no, and see in the UK, Paula, like he had a weird you know what it was like? Do you remember remember the meme about Nickelback? Oh my god, you like
I don't know
Nickelback?
who that is.
You,
It's a Canadian band. They
they're
were
a
very
Canadian
big.
band, right? So I feel like that applies more to James Blunt. Like, why? How is he like? It was crazy, right? Because he was everywhere in the UK. But yeah, of course you don't know James. Of course you don't. If you guys could do me a little like and share, I would really appreciate it. And I just want to say, like, I'm having a bit of a weird moment here where I'm like, are these sisters? Like, are these sisters or what? Like,
They all
No,
look
you
very
said, look,
similar. Look at
that's
Sydney
what
Sweeney.
yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
That's what I was saying earlier. There's a look, there's a type that the old pedophiles like in Hollywood. They like it. You know, there's one example of somebody that did become an overnight success because he was so frightened to sing. And that was when Pete Stock and Eight, what was that music company called in England? Stock and Aitken or Stock and Akerman. And
Right?
there was Nick Astley, who was so good at singing, and he used to make tea, and he was so frightened to sing, and they knew he was just gold. And so one
Rick
day
Astley?
Rick Astley, and they
But
Yeah,
he's
finally
singing
got
now.
him.
He's singing again.
Yeah, but this
yeah,
is way back. This is way in
Yeah,
his
yeah.
20s. And he became the biggest overnight sensation because he was with them, working with them, or whatever it was, the relationship, and they were trying to push him and he wouldn't go. But you don't often hear of an overnight success because of the graft that is needed to get there. You know, they're put in positions, they're promised, and we know this in the occult, that you have to sacrifice, you do certain things, and some things get very deep and dark, and there are some elements of literally giving your firstborn up, giving up your child at 11 weeks or 14 weeks in vitro, little boys at 14 weeks, little girls mostly at 11 weeks. Oh, it's so dark. I'm not sure that we should go there this early in the
I'm gonna tell you, Rick Astley, because I'm a huge fan of his. He was actually a drummer and he was a composer for the music company, right? And he was a composer. He was a composer of the big hits. And what happened is when he did that "Never Gonna Give You Up," he actually wore his clothes. They really recorded it on the fly, and they didn't have any choreography because it was just put up because the guy who they hired to sing wouldn't go and sing it. So he went and sang it. But he was a composer. He was a drummer. He'd been working for them for years. And then when it got too toxic, he said, "I'm out." And he bailed out because he said, "I don't like where this is going. I don't like the people around it." So he had the frame of mind, but then again, he was much older. So
the story in Britain was that he was like the T-boy in the back and he was too scared to sing, and they propelled him, and that one song shot him to stardom. No. That was the story we had in Britain when he first exploded. Yeah.
He gave a round of interviews because he started going back again. So he did an interview for this radio station, and he explained that he was on his way to the airport to make it really big to fly to the States. And then he had just had his first daughter. And then when they were telling him what was required of him, he said, "I can't do that because I can't leave my kids behind. I don't like the situation in the States." So he said he literally turned around and they told him that if he did that, they would ruin his career. And he said, "Fine by me." And if you look at it, he didn't really go back to singing, but he always kept composing, and he's a very accomplished drummer. I'm just saying because I'm a big Rick Astley
fan. No, he's great. He's great. There's like nothing negative ever. He never got into the rumor mill. He was never ripped apart.
But now you understand that the internet meme lore behind Rick Astley, right? There is like you understand that like he is going to live iconically forever because of that one song. There's a meme where you say you got Rick Astley, where someone will send you a link on screen and you click it and it takes you to that song and it goes at the beginning.
But he has so many beautiful songs. I mean, this man has, and he's married to a movie producer or a director or something very famous in Hollywood.
Sadly, he's still alive, has led a good life, kept his nose clean, and sadly, I love Rick Astley, but we got to turn the corner on this. We got to turn the corner on this.
No, I highly recommend you go watch his concerts because he's now going back on tour.
Okay, all right.
Example of a clean boy, he wasn't MK Ultra'd, and a nice story in all the shit and muck that we're looking at right now.
Let's support the good people.
Always.
The more I look at this picture, the more I feel like.
Do you notice something too, Ron? That these women purposely infantilize themselves and their looks, the way they even pose. Like, for example, look at this pose. She's like, "Oh, I'm a mommy's girl, little girl." Rather than posing like a confident woman, they pose like these little girls. It's like we saw that clip with Ariana Grande where she's like, "I'm 13. Do I look lovely with 13?" It's like. That was weird as F. The same thing with this Sabrina Carpenter and Hayden. Hayden always looked infantilized, the way they pose. They always present themselves in a childish manner, which has always freaked me out. I understand that.
They also know that when they hit a certain age, they'll be deemed too old. So keeping themselves looking younger is definitely in their favor. And there's a lot of sick perverts for them to please on the way up, because they might not get booked. The agency bookers are also told what to do. They're also ran. They're also there for their favors as well.
Why did Hayden's fame fade? Because from what I understand, she was huge. I never watched Heroes or any of her stuff, but she was a talented singer. She was a good actress. Why did her fame fade?
I think what happens is when your best friend, who we'll just refer to as the wife of Satan, decides to not give you the devil's breath for the first time so that you can go down a corridor and be handed to a male singer in his 30s, and you can remember all of that, I believe was probably the domino that started the fall.
I know what it is, Ron. I remember I sent you, but you can't play it. Hayden Panettiere gave an interview to, what's his name, Letterman. Before she turned 18, she said that her birthday was going to be tomorrow, which I assume
You can send it over. I should be able to play it. If you send me a link on it, I can.
I'll find it. And she's talking, and he's saying, but you can see that she had a different demeanor, because from what I understand, the abuse happened after she turned 18. So I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna mute myself because I know.
Yeah, that's fine. Well, you smash your keyboards with your hammer freaking fingers, no problem. Also beats and tapes. I'm going to sort out your band, mate.
There was a story that Hayden met and fell in love with the Russian man, and then went abroad for a while and spent time with him while she was becoming a mother. So there would have been a natural break to answer Paula's question.
Well, somebody in the side chat was saying, no, Sabrina Carpenter literally had at least 3 albums that flopped before she was successful. So arguably, we could look at that in 2 ways, right? We could arguably look at that in 2 ways, right?
I'm sharing the video, Ron.
Okay, thank you.
This is her and David Letterman the day before she turned 18, or I don't know if that day she was turning 18, but you can see her demeanor is completely different, because afterwards, I guess that's when the abuse happened, right?
Not your name. It's because it's
I feel bad for her. She's over there. Panettiere. Linda. She's very funny. I think you should have her on the show.
Oh, you do? You do you? Well, yeah. Panettiere.
Panettiere.
Now, was I right about it in Italian? It's the Italian word for baker or bakery or something?
Yes.
Yeah, well, it's a beautiful, beautiful name.
Oh, thank you.
And when you were younger, your friends did call you Hayden Planetarium.
Yeah. I got that sometimes.
Well, that's kind of silly, but cute, isn't it?
It's cute.
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me. Mm-hmm. It's when people don't know about Hayden, they think it's a boy's name. So I'm like, no, like the Hayden Planetarium.
Sure.
So it's a good
one. And you have a birthday soon? Or
tomorrow.
Oh, and you're going to be
18.
Oh, happy birthday.
Thank you.
What will you do? What will you do on your 18th birthday?
We're gonna have a big party. Mm-hmm. Big party. I think it's my biggest party yet, except for when I was 2. My mom used to get the big moon bounces, and we had a hell of a party. So,
sure.
This year is gonna be my biggest yet. And
what does 18 represent to you? Does it represent more freedom or more responsibility?
I think. I don't think much changes when you're 18, maybe the way people treat you, but I think the only things I could do is buy cigarettes, porn, and if I get in trouble with the law, I'm kind of screwed. So I think that's the only thing, right? And then when you get into fights with your parents, you can use that. You can't talk to me like that. I'm an adult.
Yeah.
Boy.
But I was hoping for something a little more inspirational.
But do you see her demeanor, how different she was? And it's interesting because when she turned 18, that's when she fired her mother. And I wonder if her mother had something to do, if she was working against her own daughter, making sure that she didn't secure contracts or stuff like that. Because even her voice is different, like everything. I'm pretty sure she was screwed up and everything. But there's a before and after, the way that I see it, because I looked at interviews afterwards. And we see what we see. And I wonder if what happened to her on that yacht is what prompted her to abuse drugs.
Mm-hmm.
In England, when we hit 18 in England, we are drinking away. It's so different to England and Europe, Britain, I should say, and Europe. When we hit 18, we can drink. In America, Canada, you've got to be 21, which is insane because they'll send people off to war, at 18 and all the rest of it. So it's a very, very different culture. But yeah, maybe she just what's that word? There's a special word. Exonerate. No, when you remove your parents out of your lineage.
Yes, I know exactly what you're saying. My
Yeah.
brain's doing the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like a Spanish or I can't remember. I can't
I
remember.
don't know what you guys are talking about.
It's when you divorce your parents as a child.
Yeah. It's not
Like when
expatriation.
you legally separate. Anyway,
Yeah.
someone in the side chat will tell us.
Yeah.
Now,
Emancipate.
Emancipate. Yeah.
emancipate.
Yeah.
Well done.
You
Well
have to get to a
done.
certain age, definitely, to do that legally.
Nice one, Mike. Well done, mate. James was born James Hillier Blount. Okay. So listen, where are we all landed on this, right? Let me just see where you all are today. Put a 1 in the side chat if you think this was a woman who was taken out because she knew too much. Put a 2 in the side chat if this was just a woman who had a horrific time and sadly OD'd through her own consumption for her own habit. And put a 3 if you just don't know. And let me see what you're saying in the side chat.
You know what I think it happened? I think that this boyfriend of hers kept her drugged up or kept her hooked on the drugs. I think that something nefarious happened because she flew over to him. He had tried to have the record sponged 3 days prior, and the judge had refused it. So I don't know if she was trying to appease him, because I am pretty sure after the interview that we watched that he was blaming her for not having his record sponged.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because remember what he said? It was a big one, the 320K for him and his family. Is like, she did this to us. Remember we talked about it, Ron, in that stupid interview? I believe that he blamed her for that she put him and his family through hell. Never mind why he ended up in that situation. And when I believe, this is just a feeling I have, that when the federal judge failed to expunge his record, he blamed her. And I think that she flew over to whatever it is to appease him or whatever. Things got out of hand in the sense that he has the drugs. You know, she clearly was not in a good place mentally. She was trying to get out of it. I think she OD'd because he was giving her too many drugs. He's a handler. And now he's doing lives saying that he's still in shock. I'm still in shock,
Can you pull up, if you not, I know you can't find the live, but can you pull up the slack-jawed interview that we watched of him the other day with a backwards hat? Just because I'm going to just batter another point home here in just a minute. I think what we should do as well, I think it's probably safer to refer to him as the handler, because legally, I think that's probably safer. And if I'm being honest, because these people are they're gonna try everything to keep this story quiet. And Ron is a big fan of not letting them weaponize words against us. Do you know what I'm saying? Now, look, this is the video that Paula showed us the other day, right? I want everyone that's not seen this to understand that this was an interview when Hayden was still alive with her on and off our current boyfriend, being interviewed about his domestic violence towards Hayden that she mentions in the book. Now, I just want you all to imagine that you have been told you're going on fucking TMZ to talk about, you know, when you go to court, right? Or if you've ever been to court, you want to look nice. You want to like present yourself in a way that looks good, right? I want you to understand that there's a very limited amount of men in this world who get away with wearing a backwards baseball cap. In places where people are wearing suits and things like this. Those people are ex-special forces. If you were a Navy SEAL, you wear your hat backwards, sir. Okay? You wear your hat backwards in your 50s, no problem. You know, when you've come out of a high-end operational military situation, you give off a different vibe, right? You give off this vibe. Now, I want you to take a look at this guy, and I want you to just keep in the back of your mind possible totally brainwashed MK Ultra handler bot for this woman. Okay, roll the VT, Paola.
Also, keep in mind that this is the way how he consciously chose to present himself. Okay, this is something that he knows he's going, because nowadays, if you go on the internet, pretty much you're global, right? He chose. This is how he wanted the world to see him. This was a conscious choice.
Cycle. What are your thoughts on her characterization of your relationship?
Man, I mean, I think it speaks for itself. I mean, I got arrested for, abusing her, and I wouldn't blame her friends for being pissed off at me. So I don't really have much to say on that, but.
Do you understand her experience about your guys' relationship? Do you see where she's coming from?
We've been together for 8 years. I mean, that's a topic of conversation that came up a lot. So, I had a couple opportunities to apologize for it and reflect on it. So, I don't know. You'd have to ask her what she thinks about it. But, it's you never lay hands on a woman, bottom line.
So when she was talking about your relationship, she compared it to a weed. She said, every time you pull it out, another weed pops back up and you're like, I thought I killed this. What do you think about her comments comparing your on and off again relationship to a weed that keeps growing back?
Well, coming from a former landscaper, which I was, all you got to do is spray some Roundup right there on it. She wasn't talking about me. She was talking about her terrible mother.
So you don't think she was talking about how you guys broke up and got back together and then broke up again and kind of had that cycle?
No.
When was the last time you talked to Hayden, and what was that conversation like?
I talked to her yesterday.
Were you guys talking about the book, or what was the conversation?
The conversation was about the book, and she was, of course, she's worried about it. It's her first book, and who wouldn't be nervous about it? But the only thing I said to her, I was like, look, dude, I was like, you got one of the craziest stories I've ever heard in my life, and when people read it, it's gonna be a hit.
Well, that's great that you're still very supportive of, her writing this memoir, because there are a lot of.
I think you saw. Yeah, let's go with that. The state of that. So
I was thinking, make it stop. I can't listen to that no more. God, oh my God, she was with him. Wow.
Yeah.
Right, Danny. Now you know what I'm saying. Any woman who's healthy psychologically and emotionally. I have that guy. By the way, he doesn't talk like that. There was I sent you a clip, Ron. I don't know if you have it. When he got into a huge brawl in Hollywood when he flew.
Yeah.
Hayden was there.
He sent
And
me.
they left before the police got there. This is in 2012 or something like that, or 2016. I don't know when. 2016 must have been, but 2022, something like that. But it was like, this guy doesn't talk that way. So he thinks he's sounding sexy. Somebody said the other day, Matthew McConaughey, all right, he's from Texas, because Matthew McConaughey, that's the way he talks. This guy is douchebag.
No one's told him it was sexy. He's been told, you go on and you wear your hat backwards and you talk out one side of your mouth, or we'll put your kneecaps in.
But Danny, I don't know about what you think, but this man is gleefully smirking while he's talking about punching her in the face. And later in the interview, he talks about, they asked him about, you punched her later on. He goes, oh yeah, that was terrible. That cost me and my family $320K. That was brutal for us.
Yeah, that was his response. Yeah. That was his
that's
response.
crazy. And he looks like he has Bell's palsy, like
I said that.
Yeah, is he jabbed up the jacuzzi?
No, he doesn't have Bell's palsy. He doesn't have Bell's palsy.
But he looks like he does.
He does, yeah, he does. He looks like Ron when Ron had Bell's palsy. That's exactly what I look like.
But
in his life yesterday, he didn't have any problems with that.
Okay, I just want to comment on a comment here, right? So she lied during her book tour. They were together the whole time. So when you have a handler and you have the person they're handling, right? And that person's starting to break free from the programming, alleged programming, right? Or, horrible relationship, if you want to take it off of the elite MK Ultra level stuff. Like, when you have a relationship like that, you're probably going to be voicing how you feel and how you want the situation to be, even if you're still in that situation and you're trying to break away from it. So I would say inconsistencies regarding how she felt or what relationships we were in, I would probably personally take Hayden's word for it, just based off of what I know about her story, basically. And I'm not saying that your point's moot or anything, Zana. I'm just saying it's the same with the addiction thing. It's the same with the why does she keep going back to that guy? It's all of that. It all circles back to this weird feeling that I've got that we're just looking at another poor victim of the Hollywood machine. And here's another thing. It's interesting because we've gone from evil PDFs on an island, evil royal PDFs, and now we're in the realm. Do you remember how I said to you, some people just like really pretty girls, right? 20-year-olds, 18-year-olds. It was the same when I was talking to Babs about the models that would come in. Not everyone involved in the evil upper echelons of this are all PDF files. Do you know what I'm saying? And this, I think we're staring at one of those cross sections of this. Possibly. I mean, I could be wrong. Horrible things may have happened to these people when they were underage as well. But I mean, I don't know that. It just reeks. And I have the same feeling about this as I done about the Virginia Giuffre situation. It's just, I feel like I'm staring a loose end in the face. And loose ends it doesn't work out well for loose ends, especially when you've written a book and you're getting so strong enough, you've got a support network now and you're getting so strong that you can start going on podcasts and voicing all of this. What do you think the next step is after that in their eyes? It's pulling the lid right off the whole thing, right?
I want to make a point about Virginia Giuffre. I read her book. I know a lot of people haven't. And it's a heartbreaking, devastating book, and you can hear her voice all the way through it. And she was a very, very sweet, beautiful, just elegant frequency, energy. And she was so brave, as we saw, so brave to come out on her own, like the way she did, and stand against Epstein and others and expose the royal family. So Andrew became what I call the sacrificial lamb in that industry or that sector of the beast system, being royals. There was an element in her book where she says, I haven't named everyone in the book, but I might at some point. And I remember reading that line and just felt like a throat punch. And I thought, that's going to get her killed. And a few weeks later, that poor lady was dead. And I think it was you, Ron. Was it you that said the photograph of her lying? Like,
we did a live about that. We did that live. Remember, Ron, when we were talking about that?
Right. Yellow and posed. We're looking at a corpse where it's so difficult to see any life in the body of that poor girl. But see, they took her out to also scare anybody else coming forward, because that's how they do it. But there's way too many witnesses now. Nobody is stopping, and it's just tragic all around. But I just wanted to mention that about Virginia, because she's the sacrificial lamb on the fire, and had information on so many people. But I think she left a veiled threat, and that becomes a loose end, to use your term, Ron. And I think she was helped out of this lifetime, but I have no proof.
Yeah, no, exactly.
No, I don't know. I don't know how I feel. This, Ron. I don't know about how I feel about people not naming the predators because they're still at large. Because I know a lot of people say, what if they're threatening your son? But then I'm thinking the other way around. What if my child gets harmed because the person refused to name the guy? You know how the police always tells you, please help us identify the guy because you're saving future victims? I am such a huge believer in that. And now, for example, Hayden is gone. She had named the people. Now, for example, Diana Jenkins, somebody's asking who's Diana Jenkins. I don't know. I've met her twice. I don't even know. I was at a dinner with her, not with her, in a group in Washington. And I was wondering because I assumed she was government because, it was all diplomats and directors for the United Nations and stuff. I assumed that she was one of the directors or anything like that for one of the agencies. It turns out she was. And now I found out through actually Ron's channel that, oh, that lady I met is not actually government or anything. So what was she doing there? And I actually talked to Ron about
Yeah.
it today. And I thought that maybe she was the one in charge to procure the visas for the girls. I don't know. But now this woman has all the legal and moral authority to say that wasn't me. She never named me, and I will sue you if you use
Mhm.
my name. So they use this blanket protection, and I find that is so shameful because these people continue to behind the scenes. This is one of the things with the Epstein list that we're
Yeah.
all frustrated that they're not naming names. Why? Because these people continue. If you think that they have stopped because of Epstein's dead or whatever, they haven't. They
No.
still feel protected. And it's like when a criminal tells you, don't shout, I'm going to rob you, or they want to do something. And and you choose to keep quiet. I understand out of the fear, they really work on your fear. If some asshole tries to steal from me, I will fight, I will scream, I will kick, because I know they don't want the attention. But other people have a different reaction. But to me, it's a shame that neither Virginia, even her lawyers or her writers said that she knows the names. Print the fucking names.
Yeah.
That you have Bill Gates flaunting, walking before Congress and walking out. We know that this perv was involved. The same with Clinton. There's just Ron Burkle, Ron Burkle it's the godfather to Diddy's twins. He was with Epstein, with Clinton and the island. We've had the pictures. Yet you don't hear Ron Burkle's name mentioned anywhere. Or Ashton Kutcher. Have you noticed that Ashton Kutcher has largely managed to go unscathed?
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Do you know, I was saying this yesterday to everyone, right? So the Daily Show, I want you guys as the viewers to know this is just going to be an ongoing conversation every day that circulates around exposing all of the things that that's why, that's what I did on YouTube when I had my own channel. For 5-6 years. So see this as an ongoing conversation every day, and some days we'll be dialing in on subjects that tie back in with Hayden. And I want to we need to see the visual size of all of these networks. There's so many of them that are popping up, and like I said earlier, we've got the Epstein network, we've got the Disney Nickelodeon networks, we've got these I'm not going to point any fingers or say any names, but international madams who become friends with people that suddenly become unalived. And the connections with this woman, Reese, who is one of the producers for Babs, he's done 7 years of research into Diana Jenkins. 7
Oh,
years.
God.
Okay. And he says her network is bigger than Epstein's. It's just not as, it's just not in the beef. It's just not in the baby jerky level of evil. It's more traditional evil, if that makes sense.
And then you have these doctors who are prescribing these drugs like crazy. Just eat them up, take them here.
Oh yeah, we're going to talk about that too. We're going to touch on that next week, the cases of the over medication and how we've got two different sides of stories, right? Where medication is used by some as the way out, in Hayden's case, and then we've got other cases where mothers have wiped out their entire lineage, and it is being claimed through over medication and things like this. And I think it's very pressing that we look into how pharmaceuticals that are prescribed by doctors can put anyone in a situation where all of their children end up unalived. And what does that really tell us about the capabilities of substances? And I think it's very prevalent that we know, because we're not going to be told. I mean, it's one thing when it's a random mum who does it, but when it's a celebrity or somebody in the public eye, we ain't going to hear the real story.
They have more access too. They have more access, and
course.
I mean, now they've taken to punishing the doctors. Matthew Perry, the guy that died from Friends, the doctor was jailed.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah.
I tell you something else. If anyone wants a rabbit hole to go down to today, I'm going to put my Discord link up. I want you all to look into how many celebrities have OD'd in baths or water over the last few years.
What about Whitney Spears' daughter in a bathtub?
Oh, listen, Britney
Whitney
Spears.
Houston.
Whitney Houston, sorry. Whitney Houston, thank you. Whitney
Yeah, well,
Houston's
this is what I'm saying.
daughter in a
Look into
bathtub.
it all, and then ask yourself how many career substance users would OD in the bath? Okay, I just want you to ask yourself that. I know it sounds like, oh well, things can happen all the time. I think if you've never taken any substances, I'm pretty sure you all are of the mindset of like, one hit and you can be done. If you're 30 years into your habit, you know how to monitor your habit, right? And Whitney Houston was pre-fentanyl era. She was still on the brown. Do you know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of suspiciousness. And listen, I'm not saying career substance users don't pass away. Of course they do, okay? But it's quite an alarming rate that we went through a bizarre period in time where, there you go. There you see, you're a smart man.
And even sicker, Ron, and we know it's true because it wasn't denied, that when she was found and the evening there was supposed to be an event, they carried on the event knowing her dead body is upstairs. Now, if anyone does any discovery on a satanic ritual or satanic sacrifice in the club with audience, then you have a classic scenario.
Yeah.
This is again when we're talking to the world of handlers. Bobby Brown, yeah, he had the show Can't Touch Us, but he was nowhere near the level of Whitney Houston. And people were wondering, what are you doing with this man? What are you doing with him? You know what I mean? It's like these, and I'm talking, yeah, I know Bobby Brown had some hits, but he was not, Whitney Houston was like stratosphere, and he was, a known artist, nothing like her. And yet he ended up getting her all hooked up on drugs and stuff. And then their daughter dies. I mean,
oh my God.
What?
James Blunt served with the British Army in Bosnia. Interesting. There's so many weird, I'm starting to think this is all sounding mad, right? Do you know what I'm saying? It's all as real as it gets. But man, we're just going to find more and more of these. Hang on a second. Danny, we need to just quickly talk about Danny's conference before she goes, because if you were here on the channel yesterday, you'll have seen David Icke. In fact, you'll have seen many of Danny's speakers at our conference. Over on the Sean Atwood channel, including David Icke. Danny, I know you've not got much time left, but hit us with what is going down at GSIC this year.
Well, interesting. Everything we're talking about is covered within these people. We're talking about the beast system, the satanic occult. We're talking about secret space programs, hidden military technology, medical technology that would have healed half the human race had the upper hands not taken it. So we got David Icke, who's talking about the Matrix system. We've got Billy Carson flying in from America, who's well known for his Anunnaki research, Emerald Tablets research, and science of consciousness, what the human body is capable of doing. And then below him, we have Kathy O'Brien, I mentioned earlier, was passed around the White House and the Pentagon as a sex mule, but also she was passed around global leaders, and she put it all in her book. She has so much to say. She's the one that trained me information on MK Ultra and how when they're 30 years old, they get eliminated. They were going to burn her at Bohemian Grove on her 30th birthday. When we think we're watching a mock ritual at Bohemian Grove, we are not. They are taking out people who they've MK Ultra'd, and the handler is in the audience seeing the secrets die. This is all absolutely verified by her and others who I've interviewed. So Kathy O'Brien stands, for the MK Ultra.
Do you know what's really weird? Do you remember how we were talking about how when they do the fake cannibal rituals, the brain doesn't know and it's the same thing? Do you remember what we were saying about the adult entertainers yesterday, about how they all went from blonde hair with big boobs and all of that to tiny looking, they look like kids now, right? Do you remember how we were talking about that yesterday, Danny, about how adult entertainers have started to look way younger than they did 20 or 30 years ago, right?
Right.
So do you remember the reference of if you're watching something, right, and it's got somebody who's obviously of legal age, but they look way younger, is that not the same ritualistic symbology as pretending to eat a person at a fake cannibal convention? because you're staring at something that your brain is misconstruing as something else, if that makes sense. Because there's got to be a reason. There's got to be a reason why all of these adult entertainers are wearing braces and look about 17. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, they want to stay attractive, of course, because they look at it as aging meat. Because they're looked at as meat, of course. So, gosh.
Well, see, I think it's obviously we can argue it's normalizing PDF files, of course, but it's almost on a weirder level is the point I'm trying to make, because it's almost like if there's a world where witnessing this stuff happen aids in the evil side of this war, and people are staring at something that is a visual representation of something else, are we not then contributing to the evil in some? Anyway, that was about my weird brain fart. I'm sorry for interrupting you, Danny. Tell us when is GSIC? Where can people can get tickets from your website, of course, but when is it?
It's the 10th, 11th, and 12th of September, so just a couple of weeks away. You can live stream. You can get 1 day and 2 day passes, but getting the 3 day pass is the best. We're going to do a sky watch. I've always had craft turn up at every single event I've done over these many years of doing my GSICs. I call it GSIC for short. It's Galactic Spiritual Informers Connection. It's a beautiful gathering. Nobody has to, say, oh, I'm here because I'm interested in this. We all know who we are. We're all the black sheep. We're all gathering. We know the truth. We want to hear more of it. Some of the stuff we talk about, we can't put online. So it's the most beautiful disclosure event in the world happening in Eastbourne, England. And everyone's welcome. You can live stream too from around the world.
Sick. I didn't know we could all live stream. Now I need to charge.
My love.
I need to charge all the battery packs now. Sean sent me a fancy new GoPro, so I'm gonna get this in full swing and do a great video. Perversion's okay, right? Perversion is like a normal factor of the world, right? It's not evil to be a little bit like, for example, you could be a bit pervy about your wife or your missus in a fun, playful way. It's so much fucking weirder down the line, bro. Like, it's so like perversion's a dot in the background somewhere from a while ago. You know what I'm saying? So, Danny, I'm sorry I keep keeping you here, and I know you've got somewhere. You have somewhere to be, right? I'm right in thinking.
And that's okay. And it's been lovely to come on with you and Paola today. I'm very grateful, and lovely to see the beautiful audience and just be part of kind of current events and share everything that I know. And So
we love having you here. So thank you for being here, Danny.
Thank you, Paola. All right,
thank
you guys.
you so much.
All right.
Much love. See you soon.
All right. It's just you and me now, Paula. Back to the main, the bad boys.
We don't have to behave anymore.
Right, exactly.
No more behaving.
Yeah, let's just break out into an argument for no reason, just for banter. Right. So, like, everyone was asking about Diana Jenkins, right? Now, again, I didn't know who Diana Jenkins was. It was Reese who really battered home the other day that this is where we need to be focusing our attention. And again, I need everyone to understand, none of this is based off of Hayden's passed away, random YouTubers are jumping on the story. Okay. Like there's things that I designed back in June with metadata showing how long this has been in the pipe work. For no one knew that Hayden was going to not be here.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I don't know where do you land with what happened to her. As I said, I think it was a set of unfortunate circumstances. And that man is bad news. That man was just. She did not need that man in her life. Let me put it this way.
Let me take you through how I feel about this. I feel like, for whatever reason, insert reason here, her mother was a big part in pushing her forward in her career. And when her mother was cut free, I think everything that could have been done to derail this girl's entire existence was probably done. And now that's me speculating, of course. But her relationship with her mother was non-existent. And I think that her boyfriend, this guy, I believe personally that he is a handler. He gives me handler vibes. No evidence of that. This is just my sole opinion. And I think that because she was getting yappy, in the same way as Virginia was getting yappy, that's when it's over for you.
I
You
don't
know,
believe that he was happy about the book, and I believe because if he
none
and
of them
I
are happy
think
about the book. I don't think.
no, but he not the way he sounds on the interview, Ron, and the fact that he tried to sponge the record and they denied it, that must have lit a fuse on him. And this is why I believe she flew there. Why would she be going there? You know what I mean? Why would she be flying to be with this guy right after? That's like putting yourself in a dangerous situation. If you know that this guy has a short fuse, he probably is upset about not having his records sponged. Why put yourself in that situation? I don't get it. Like why endanger yourself in such a way? And people are asking where she was, and so she was alone with these two men.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just reading through some Discord notes that the community have left. And one of the community members, Mars, has left. Sure, this is out of date. It feels more planned. I'm not expecting to find much for the date. Also, the same day Elvis died. Not sure if that's significant. So apparently, these are all people who've died on the same day as Hayden, and it's Robert Johnson, Babe Ruth, Margaret Mitchell, Bella Lugosi, William Halsey Jr., John Diefenbaker, Elvis Presley, Peter Fonda, Sean Locke, Michael Parkinson, Aretha Franklin, Atal Bahari Vajabapi, Richard Williams, Amanda Blake, Bobby Bajaj, Ronnie Drew.
Well, I'm sure there's a lot of people who died on that day. God knows, everybody dies every
Oh
night.
yeah, no, Ron's deep
But
in the
you know what I
numbers.
mean? Like for me, I'm just wondering why she flew there when she knows that this man has a short fuse, is probably angry. Was she trying to appease him? Because that man clearly has a way of turning the blame and saying, if you hadn't if you hadn't accused me of beating you up, I wouldn't have had to post bail. I would have been in jail. My family wouldn't have to pony up 320K. It's your fault. I can see him doing that, especially if she never broke up with him, because it seems they never did.
Oh man, literally Mars 127 is just spitting fire all over my Discord. So another side quest for another day is Stevie Nicks gives out these pendants to selected people, including the following. And apparently it's something called the Sisters of the Moon. And that's another culty thing that we're going to side quest off on this week, I think, as well. Really good work, everyone that's putting stuff in the Discord in the Hayden room.
But you know what I mean? And then you have these Ukraine links that she was actually pivotal in 2013. She ends up with a guy from Ukraine. And her husband or her ex-boyfriend was part of the coup that the CIA this is not even a conspiracy theory. The CIA organized the coup in 2013. Period. Okay, they literally threw out the guy who was democratically elected because they did not like his policies collided with the CIA policies. So they got rid of him, and they put Zelensky, who has gone. We know what's happened with him, but she was part of it, which is very random. And then you have people like Meghan Markle putting herself in Ukraine. Then you have everybody like the royal family pushing for Ukraine. And anybody who says this guy was a comedian, he was wearing fake bras on Russian television.
Hang on a second. Ron shut down a child trafficking network in the Ukraine. Okay? A child modeling agency called Brima Models with 60 kids. Me and my team liberated those kids and got the owners put in jail. They were in the Ukraine. Ron ain't missing nothing about the Ukraine. Do you know about the connections to a certain person who's in this story and the Ukraine that isn't Hayden? Because trust me, Ron would wish he could say all the things that he knows. Okay. But yeah.
It is quite, and I gotta tell you,
love you too, my G. Listen, I'm here for you. But man, I've smashed mofos in the Ukraine. In fact, there's a whole video about it over on my channel, bro. Brima Models, go and check them out. Go Google them.
I gotta say, I'm surprised that they waited for Hayden to turn 18, because usually these guys
Well, that's the thing, though. They're not all PDF files, right? They're not all PDF files. You've got some guys that are just nasty, horrible sons of bitches.
Or do you think it was a way to control her, to tell her you're nobody? Or
I think
I gotta ask you. You know, like Justin Bieber, he was at the height of his fame run, and Diddy wanted to Diddy him because they get off by humiliating really famous people. I wonder if at that age she was at the height of her fame and they wanted to humiliate her by saying, "Hey, we own you."
Well, no, this is it, right? So listen, she gets taken to that man whose name rhymes with fucking. He gets taken to that man after she fires her mother, right? I think that the timeline adds up on there, possibly. Now, or maybe it was after that. Now, if that's the case, we have to assume it's better for business when you have a Hollywood star to give them devil's breath while abuse is happening so they don't remember it. And then suddenly when that luxury of forgetting is removed, you have all of the trauma, I would imagine, that has been locked away come to the surface during that one event where she's allowed to remember. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong.
But she says, according to her, the experience, she was fully awake. And I mean, the woman purposely took her down. You know, they didn't drug her or anything. Because Ron is too important to talk about.
No, like, I'll be honest with you. I often ask myself this. It's because there's multiple voices and versions of me in my head. And it's easier for me to refer to as Ron when we're in Ron mode. Do you know what I'm saying? Because otherwise I'll forget which personality I've tapped into. You know what I'm saying? I refer.
But it's just interesting to see. But for me, it is. At what point, when all these celebrities dropping like flies, are people going to say this is not coincidence? This is a pandemic. This is something that's being done purposely, and there's something seriously wrong. I believe that they were financing. Hollywood was freaking out because I think Mel Gibson was building some studios outside of Hollywood, and this is why the Sundance film was it's like it never really took off, the Sundance Film Festival, because Hollywood wouldn't allow it because, you know, it's independent films and stuff like that, right? But I believe that Mel Gibson was trying to build studios to compete with Hollywood outside of Hollywood, and it's amazing the machinery, how they shut it down.
Yeah, it's amazing how much of these stories get swept under the carpet too. We're going to start delving into other cases as well over the next week or two. That are
we have to talk about the Tyler Robinson thing, because so many things have come out.
Yeah, we will. What we're going to do is
Ron, you have no idea.
Sean was meant to have a show at 3:00 today. I do believe his guest has cancelled. So it's just going to be Ron and Paula for a little while longer. Everybody, just so you know.
It might be just Ron because I have to get going.
Yeah. Well, listen, Ron's got a lot to talk about. So I'll tell you what we'll do. How much longer have you got, Paula, before you need to go?
About 8 minutes. I just have to go to the doctor.
Listen, we're going to have a 8-minute, high-impact, Paula-driven Tyler Robinson update, and then we're going to circle back once Paula's away, because
this guy went on
a little break sometimes, a little 10-minute break, and then we'll circle back.
Yeah, this guy went on to the Losey Center, right, where you know the building, and he tried to shoot at or aim, with a rifle, try to shoot where Charlie would be. You literally have to be on the edge and put up your I know how to shoot, guys, and put your rifle down on the edge, because remember the video was that the guy actually lied flatly down and he was like 10 to 15 feet back. There is no way you can shoot. There's up the guy.
Yeah. So basically what Paul is saying is, if my phone if this is looking down at the building, a sniper would need to be here so that the barrel is over the end. The video shows the guy lying like here, flat down with a rifle. So that's what the point Paul is making there. Now, Paul, have you seen the new video of the guy walking through the place?
I have it. Do you want to see it? I'll share it with you.
This is what I wanted Paula to show you guys. This is you remember the famous footage of Tyler? And I just want to remind everyone we are going back to Hayden's story. Paula's only got 5-10 minutes left, and I wanted to get this out because this is a man recreating the famous scene of where Tyler was video recorded and walking through. Carry on.
Yeah, and the thing is though that he's explaining, and I've done it. If you, for example, if you have a video with the times, you know how they do that? If you flip it, the time flips as well at the bottom. So you wouldn't have it like that's what he's trying to explain. This is the actual thing.
All right, you guys, we caught the feds in another lie. So this is level 3, parking level 3 at UVU, where they have Tyler Robinson coming around the corner and coming down the stairwell. There's the camera right over here. But in the Fed version of their footage, this stairwell, which is actually on the left, on their version, it's on the right. So they have completely reversed this image. And not only have they reversed the image, they have also doctored the timestamps, because if you reverse the image, the timestamps would be reversed as well. So something ain't adding up here. Here's level 2 proving that the stairwell is actually on the left.
Yeah, do you know what? It's so prevalent in every case. There's just layers and layers of fishiness. And you know what? Actually, the timing of Hayden's unaliving couldn't have happened at a better time, because all of this. I mean, look how much stuff's coming out about the Kirk case now.
Oh, not only that, there for some reason there were subpoenas to get Charlie's phone and everything, and yet they were never enforced. And you know, Lance, the furry guy who testified, they found a backpack with explosives in his place and a bunch of other stuff, and yet nobody's talking about that.
Yeah, it's endless nonsense with this goddamn Charlie. It's such a disgrace. The way,
and I mean, well, you have serious people coming out now talking about this, like Joe Kent, who was in the, you know, in a secret service or secret security. He was the second highest up in covert ops, and he wanted to investigate the murder. And then he was told by Kash Patel, he has come and named Kash Patel, said, put the kibosh on that and said, no, you're not going to do that. We're not going to investigate, because he said that the more you investigate, the less we can put this theory forward. Also, why were the feds involved? Because this was a Utah state thing. It is unbelievable, the things. But I was shocked about the guy with the rifle. You literally have to be almost looking like this because of the, you know, that he had a tent, which made it even difficult when you're shooting from a high.
100%, man.
I know. I mean, and the guy was not even a shooter. This Tyler Robinson was not even a proper shooter. He just got the rifle because and the parents gave it to him because it was an heirloom, you know. But he wasn't a shooter.
Yeah, it's bananas. The whole
Joe Rogan has come into the conversation now. It's not good when Joe Rogan comes into the conversation, and we have to do a live about, you know, like the debate. Because that wasn't a debate, you know, that was something really horrible.
I quickly need to run away for 2 minutes, Paula.
Yeah, go for it. I'll hold the fort.
Tell everyone
but
what
I don't care. You know, I know many of you are going to come at me because of the widow. I've always found the widow shady. You know, why did the police allow her to keep the phone? Hell, you know, like in all murder investigations. What was the name of that lady? Because I'm a big true crime person. David Apolito, something like that. That she actually hired a hitman, and the hitman was recording her, and the hitman had gone to the police. And I think I was the only one on the internet with Erica when I was reading things. You know, even Jesus on the cross complained to God, why have you forsaken me? And that was a very human reaction. And this is Jesus. But yet Erica thinks that she's just notified, hey, your husband was brutal, has died from the brutal shooting, public shooting. And she looked, these are, I can only go by what her words are, that she looked outside the private airplane window and said, you know, I was just talking about, Ron, that even Jesus, when he was on the cross, complained to God, Father, why have you forsaken me? Because we have those moments. And this is Jesus. But Erica says that when she received the phone call while she was in a private plane, that her husband had succumbed died of the horrible shooting, she looked up and she smiled because he blinked and he was with the Lord. And I'm like,
I'm pretty sure Jesus got himself into that scenario. I'm just saying. Like,
you know what? No, but you know what I mean?
fault.
If I'm saying that, even if Jesus complained about something to
yeah, I got the analogy. Don't worry. Yeah, 100%.
but
It's the
and
same
this
way
woman
as
is saying,
like,
my husband is brutally murdered.
yeah.
But oh my God, I looked and it was a blue sky, beautiful blue sky. And I smiled because he blinked and he was with the Lord. Bitch.
Yeah.
Oh. And when I
Oh
did
yeah,
these videos,
it's
everybody
enraging.
came for me because that is not. And then when she's like, within 48 hours, she goes in front of the cameras and she's like, "Oh, I've taken over and give money. My husband died, but your donations will help." She stood and by holding the chair, and then when she posted that thing of Charlie, that creepy as f
Oh, the
fucking
hand
thing,
picture. Yeah,
I
man.
looked at myself and like, what the fuck am I watching?
Yeah,
What
no,
am
I
I
was the same.
looking at? And when I said all these things in my video, I was like, am I going insane here? And
Mhm.
all of you, not you beautiful people, everybody came for me. Everybody. I know you were uncomfortable talking about it, but it's like,
Mhm. It
am
was,
I
yeah.
the only one in the room who's thinking this is not? And oh,
No, I agree. And look, I need to circle back, but like I say, once we get a little bit more information and Ron sort of finds the direction we're going to go on the channel with our investigation into Hayden, we will be having. I am extending the daily show as well. It's usually 2 hours. We're going to try 2.5 hours. We maybe push it to 3. Paula hopefully can be here for as much of that as possible because
yeah,
she
but
is.
I'm also gonna get you people, like if you want, we can get people so they can come in and go
Mhm.
as well, so
Well,
we
yeah,
can have more guests
100%.
and stuff.
Tomorrow, Thursday, we've got a whistleblower coming in to blow the lid on Scientology. Their
Oh yes,
underage
yes.
children that they're using as masseuses and slave labor. And the reason that we're looking at that is because this is a cult that is right in front of us. This is a cult that's right in front of us, and we're going to look at the tactics they use to brainwash regular folk into handing over goddamn children, because it makes me wonder. I wonder if the same tactics used here can reflect the tactics used on mothers, fathers, and the parents that aren't the nasty parents. They just get duped. Like, you got to understand, there's going to be a percentage of these people who hand over their kids in good faith and do not think anything bad's going to happen and are not part of anything, and horrible things still happen. And I wonder just how many of them sit back and wonder and think to themselves, I wonder how they managed to get me to do that.
You
The
know,
Olsen twins, oh God, like that.
that I was thinking, yeah, the Olsen twins, yes, but I was thinking this Amanda Burns, that lady. There's something
Oh yeah.
about her that's heartbreaking because it's like she's trying to punish. If you can pull up a picture of her,
I'm
Amanda
doing
Burns,
it
it's
now.
like she's trying to punish herself. You know that Ruby said, when you have trauma, your body shows it. And I wonder if she's either self-mutilating or self-harming herself physically because she feels that ugly inside, because she was a beautiful girl. And what they've done to her is horrible. Remember, Dr. Ruby said, like, when you have a trauma, your body, you do something to your body. This is 20 years later. I mean,
Mm.
and she's been through horrific things. I wonder if she feels what she's putting outside, she's punishing herself for how she feels inside. And it is a sad thing. It's just that young man also, who was a child star, and then they found him on TikTok homeless and all kinds of things. I
Oh
mean,
my God, yeah. What was his name? I can't remember his
I
name.
can't
No,
remember.
you
I'm
carry on.
terrible with
You keep
names.
talking.
But
Sorry.
you know what I mean? At what point are people going to? Oh, by the way, John of God, Oprah's faith guru, the Brazilian guy, has been
Oh yeah.
sentenced to 110 years in jail, finally, for harvesting organs and stuff like that.
Whoa,
He refused to
whoa.
leave. He
Wait.
refused to leave Brazil. So Oprah flew in private, and you know what's another thing with Oprah? Oprah is a big predator. I wouldn't be surprised if she has something to do with Hayden and all these women. But Oprah, it's she promotes these people, and when and she gives them their big platform, and then when it turns out that this is terrible, she never says a word or exposes. She never talked about John of God or being, or like, she flew all the
What
way
was the
to
name? What
Brazil.
was the name? What was the name of the guy? The
John of
Brazilian.
God. Oprah and John of God. He called himself a John of God, and he was raping these women and getting them pregnant and harvesting the organs of the children, selling them. It's horrible.
Oh my God. Yeah, there you
Oprah.
go.
Oh
John
my.
of God sentenced to 118 years for
Yep.
R
Para
after Oprah
Teixeira de
promoted
Faria do
dealer
Brasil.
scandal shocks Brazil. Well, Oprah, I have to say, for those of you who believe in people that have got gifts, and some of you don't, I understand that. But for those of you who do, there's two people on this planet that have got incredibly unpenetrable black tar over them in the spiritual world. And Oprah is up there with one of the most evil energies to tap into across the board.
Period. This
Wow.
bitch is crazy. Let me tell you. She's like, girl, I mean, Oprah Winfrey, I would make it my personal takedown. We have to do a deep dive because her life is full of lies. You know, she says she was playing with cockroaches when she was a child. That's a lie, Oprah. Your mom was poor, but she was a working nurse. She went to a white school. She got a scholarship there. And then she won Miss Tennessee, Youth Tennessee, or whatever the hell it was. And I mean, she was sleeping her way. She had a child at the age of 13. She was an out of control child. Her mother had to send her to live with her father because she was out of control after she had the baby. We don't know if the baby survived or not. But yep. Oprah is a nasty person. I believe that she has a grudge against white people because her white married lover who launched her into national wide scene. I know a lot about Oprah. I've done quite a few deep dives about her, but her whole life is a lie. She was, she claims that she was SA. No, she wasn't. She was an out of control child. She went to an all white school, very privileged school. She raided her mom's home and destroyed all her furniture, claiming that it was somebody had broken in because she went to all this privileged school, right? Really posh school because of a scholarship, and she didn't like her mother's furniture because she compared it to all of their other friends. So she staged a break-in and destroyed the furniture and everything, so her mother would have to buy new stuff. She's horrible. Oprah Winfrey is horrible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and yeah, I completely agree. And you know, when I said to you guys, this is an ongoing conversation, this show, this is the exact point why it's an ongoing conversation, because interjections like this, where we've jumped onto Oprah, we've got 118-year conviction, we've got Oprah tied in but denying, organ harvesting,
For South
shenanigans.
African school, which is okay. I'm going to tell you something. She's shutting down her South African school as John of God is convicted. And John of God is convicted of harvesting organs and all kinds of things with little girls and
Yeah,
stuff.
that is super
It's the
sus.
timing, isn't it?
Well, do you know what it is? It's another case of, like, I feel like the Iranian war has now become the equivalent of when you're having a house party and the police come to the door and there's one person stalling the police while everyone runs out the back door. I feel like the Epstein files arrived at the door and Trump went, aliens, give them aliens, UFOs? No, shit. Greenland, let's invade Greenland. Super
That's
soldiers.
what the distortion tactics.
And then he finally went, okay, we'll just go back to the classic invade a country. So off they popped. And mark my words, something is going to happen, and that man ain't stepping down as president. There's been two occasions, I do believe, in the last 60 or 70 years where the presidents have not had to step down because of the wars or something that's going on in the world. You know,
He wants to fabricate a war to stay in power if he declares a national state of emergency. So there's no elections, so he cancels the elections. But I just want to say something about Oprah, guys, because this woman, look at her friends. I believe that her and Ellen were competing madames in Hollywood because they didn't get along forever, right? They never did. I believe that Ellen and Oprah were competing for victims, or they were in stratosphere or whatever. But at the center of it all is Oprah with Harvey, with Ron, with Epstein. She flew 11 times and she's in Hollywood. She's in Hollywood all over the place. You have all these actresses saying that Oprah handed her over to Weinstein. Rose McGowan said that Oprah was like, pretty much like exactly like what Hayden Panettiere described her friend did. This is why when she described that, I assume it was Oprah, because that's the way that Rose McGowan and others startless describe what Oprah did to them, that she would bring them down and then she would leave.
Yeah, it's really messed up. I thought there was going to be a little video. Oh, here we go. So this is another Nick child
Breaks
star.
my heart.
Look at the absolute state of affairs of this poor man. This is child star from Nickelodeon.
I remember you. Yeah.
Pobrecito. It
There he is
breaks
there.
my heart. It really breaks my heart, you know, Ron.
Of course. And
It
do you
really
know what
does. I
do you know
tear
what
up
really-
because it breaks my heart.
do you know what the really sad thing is when that video broke, his family spoke out and said, you know, he's tried to get help. We've always tried to help him, and it is one of the most heartbreaking. It's just heartbreaking.
Did you play on Disney Channel?
Nickelodeon.
Oh, it isn't Nickelodeon. What show is it again?
Nancy Classified Schools for
Oh yeah, you were that kid on it, huh? Yeah.
Silent Face.
I remember you. Yeah.
You know, you can feel his shame. He feels embarrassed.
It's so sad seeing a human being
Destroy like that. I mean, what Hollywood, I think that Hollywood should be literally declared pedowood, and it should be banned. That these people, those big studios should be banned, burnt down to the ground. I think that parents should.
Well, do you know what, Paula? What's interesting is it was either you or Danny yesterday talked about, I think it was the guy that played Harry Potter, right? And how psychotically hands-on his parents were in his career, right? And he apparently had spoken out about things that he had seen out the corner of his eye and stuff that made everyone very uncomfortable. And his parents would never allow it. So we've got to also look at how many parents are doing the right thing. And it's just so mind-boggling. Sorry, I'm just trying to find an image to put up.
This is the thing. I'm going to show you something here. This is me when I was about a year and a half old. I was in a commercial. That's my nana. They wanted to hire me for a commercial, and I went on a commercial. And then my mom said, "Okay, I don't want that because
Elijah Wood, thank you."
Because you know it was just like, okay, you done it, and then they started really getting creepy. I just did that one. My mom with one commercial, and then they sent all these balloons and stuff. But my mom was like, "No, like I thought it was for this, but that's it." As parents, we really have to think, if you're going to put your child out there. This is why I like the California law that's come out, which is they're supposed to be approved, but I still think it hasn't gone far enough in the sense of that if parents are putting their kids online, the kids, when they become old, they can tell the parents, remove everything. And if the parents are benefiting from that, when the child is under 18 years of age, 65% of everything made goes to the child.
Yeah, it was Frodo. It wasn't Harry Potter. It was Frodo.
Frodo. Oh,
yeah, that actor.
I really feel that you should show that 16-second clip of the dragon. I just think it's badass. Before I go,
we're going to get copyright claimed. Paula,
not for that. It's 16 seconds.
Nah, I'm not doing it. I'm not taking. I'm not.
Caraxes. It's like. Ron,
Paula is obsessed with this dragon from Game of Thrones, right? And she keeps spamming my inbox with clips of this thing. And don't get me wrong, I've started watching it now. It's pretty good. But man, that dragon does have swag. It does have swag.
But anyways, I'm going to get going, but I'll see you guys tomorrow. And what are we going to talk about tomorrow, Ron? Tomorrow's the Scientology guy, right?
Scientology, yeah, we've got a big section on Scientology, and also we'll be continuing on with our Hayden investigation.
I just want to put a side to it. I just want to, you know what? When you think about it, I know that Scientology and that Tom Cruise is deep into Scientology and all that crap. But when you think about what he said, that that he doesn't believe in drugs, that drugs are mind-inducing, altering things, it kind of makes sense in a way,
but that's all drugs. That's medical drugs too. Look and see what happened to John Travolta's son dying on his bathroom floor. They don't believe in any drugs. So if you've got cancer, they'll just smile it out of you. So they're
Well,
all,
I don't believe in the I know that there's a religion that they don't even allow you to have blood transfusions. Well, I am not part of that religion. If I need a blood transfusion, you pump me with as many drugs as possible. You know, you resuscitate me. Then no, it's that I read that there's a
I agree.
religion that they don't
Uh,
even allow you to take medication. It's like,
yeah,
don't
no, I
you
agree.
know that God put doctors on earth? Remember, God made the doctors, so it's
Yeah,
God. That's God's way of giving us
100,
choices
yeah,
to heal.
100%.
No, I'm not that religion. I am Catholic. If I need a blood transfusion, you give me a blood transfusion. If you need to pump me with like 10 electrical shots to get my heart going, you do that wrong, you know? So
I'm,
I'm
I hear you.
oh,
I hear
Jehovah
you.
Witness. Oh, okay.
Well, look, I'm going to circle back, and we'll see you tomorrow, Paula. And it's always a pleasure, and love you
Bye
loads,
bye,
my G.
guys.
Bye bye. Take it easy, Paula. All right, so let's have a quick 5-minute chat while the dog continues to be a goddamn maniac. You can just see him down there. He's like a tiny polar bear, doing his thing. Right, so constantly keeping the eyes back and focused on the elites, on their obsession with the occult, control, transportation, and just the horrific world that these poor men and women get dragged into. And the fact that there was so much going on behind the scenes, right? There was so much going on behind the scenes surrounding this story with Babs and Reese and myself. Like, I couldn't believe it when I woke up and Babs had messaged me, and whoever messaged me said that this had happened. You know, on Sunday, the live's still up from Sunday. We were literally just talking about this on Sunday, and then the same day, here we are. Yeah, Babs is good. Babs is safe. Well, she's safe, or she was last night when she messaged me. Yeah, so I want to talk to you guys for a little bit. They got to Heath Ledger too. Do you know the visual aid needs to be done? I need more. You all need to get into Discord. I need your freaking manpower. I really need your manpower because there's just so much to get through. Why did you join a cult at Firecracker? Oh man, so many people don't even realize they're joining a cult and they fall into cults. It's crazy. Especially if you've got a guiding hand leading you, you know, a parent or a boyfriend or a girlfriend or whatever. It's mad. It's mad. It really is. Babs is scared as well. You know, she is. Which is understandable. It really is. I'm a woman from Belgium. I'm a man from Scotland. Look at us together on the internet. Who would have thought it? Now, we are trying to delve a little deeper into people that were around Hayden and trying to get some interviews set up for everybody. But obviously, this has happened all so fast, so we are doing our best. But the fact that Diana Jenkins and the fact that James Blunt are all over the internet right now denying the accusations, I strongly suggest that you go to James Blunt's latest music video and just look at the comment section. It is so good. It is so good. Because when the internet comes for you now, the internet comes for you and it's relentless. And I was saying this yesterday, it's very interesting that so many of you are now at a point of accepting how dark the world is, and you're just not going to sit there and turn your blind eye to it anymore. Like I really want to credit all of you for being here and delving into all this, because it's easy to shrug this off and go, nah, junkie, and then just go back to your life. Because that is, sometimes I wish I could rent ignorance just for a weekend. Like, Could you imagine what it would be like for 48 hours to not worry about any of this? You know? I don't know who Mary Pinkford is. And what story are you talking about? Like the general story of all of this stuff. People have been talking about this stuff for decades and decades and decades, which is even more frustrating. It's like, why are there still babies starving in Africa, and why are there still PDF files running the world? Like why? What was that about? What's going on there? There's way too many. He's beautiful. She never looked like a junkie. Well, look, she definitely had substance abusers, but it's easy for people to, when there's DID, when there's substance abuse surrounding survivors, these are interjected by design so that people can instantly go, oh, well, you know, have you heard about our medical? Oh, have you heard about our substances? Because as normal individuals, people don't tend to be those things, right? So when you're given a reason by the media, there's such a large percentage of people that are what I call the surface skimmers of the media. They just scroll past a headline and they'll see Hayden overdose, you know, substance habit, whatever. And then that's it. It's installed now. That's the opinion. It's there. They've not even read the article. Good boy. That is a good boy. Yes. Good boy. Yes. He's peeing on these pee mats, which is legendary. And the fact that we're still having this shoved in our faces, the only reason that you see controversy around cases like this, because believe me, a professional assassin, okay, is not going to leave a single debatable fact in the media. It's not going to happen. Okay. And these get done in a way that puts warnings out to other survivors, other people who've gone through this, other people that are seen as loose ends, to make sure they shut up. Oh man. Like, do you know how mad that was? Like, there's a girl called Michelle and another, I think it's Chris. I can't remember who the guy is. I keep mistaking him for another guy. Like, two podcast guests who are very famous. I see them as one person, and I'd never met one of them before. And I thought it was the other guy. And I interviewed him on the podcast, and I treated him like a guy that I'd known for ages. It was hilarious. But Kurt Cobain's, like, it's just mad. But again, that's a whole other different unaliving, right? That's another set of sadness, because, I mean, I'm pretty sure that was just financially driven, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure financially driven, or maybe, I don't think Courtney Love could pull the trigger, but I think she could definitely get a crackhead to come in and pull the trigger. Definitely not. Vanderlust. Yeah, I agree. So if can you guys put some questions in as well, or any points in, and we'll have a little chat. I'm side question in my own head here. Give me 1 second. I want to pull up the next part of my notes on this Diana Jenkins. Okay. So there's also this woman, Deborah Anderson, who I believe was the photographer for Room 23. Was that right? She is not unalived. She does not belong on your deceased list, but she's potentially far more important to understanding Room 23. Anderson was the photographer behind the project. While Jenkins conceived and produced it, Jenkins' own site explicitly describes Room 23 as a collaboration between them. And Anderson's own description of the project is fascinating. She characterized Room 23 as a fantasy and said that nearly 100 celebrities were photographed in one hotel room over roughly 4 months. 100 celebrities. So 75% of them never made it into the book. Is that right? It's weird. How do you log into the dark? Oh my God. Dude, I swear, if that's just the smell of you farting. Oh my God. Is that just the smell of you? Jesus Christ. Give me 1 second. I need to just, I'm still here. Like, can we just, I'm live on the internet, mate. I'm live on the internet. Right? Like, letting out absolute gas clangers. Oh man, that. I tell you what, if anybody wanted any information out of anybody, that is the gas, man. Sorry, everyone. Like, I'm convinced. Oh, that's just the gas coming out his ass. Wow, damn. Whew. Okay, so she characterized Room 23 as a fantasy. I feel like I'd side quested somewhere. And 100 celebrities were photographed over 4 months. This gives us an important distinction. Jenkins created, Anderson photographed it, approximately 100 celebrities. The project involved Jenkins' friend Holly and social contacts. It was connected to Jenkins' human rights. It was connected to Jenkins' human rights and philanthropy. So this was meant to be, I mean, the whole Room 23 reeks of human transportation. It reeks of, it literally looks like she's telling the story of the life that she denies that she was ever part of. The transportation, the madam, all of this stuff. I'm going to say. Diana Jenkins. Let me just put her up on screen here. I would hate for anyone to misconstrue who she is. Let's go. There's a picture of her and Hayden. Right. Okay. See, we're kind of getting tiny mind maps coming together here. I know, buddy. Okay, I'm not going to be much longer, and then we'll go out and play. All right. So, look at go. So, hang on. Okay, so because Hayden's memoir is a first-person account of an alleged SA situation, and there is documentation that Diana Jenkins' connection immediately adjacent to it, but there's no crucial. Hang on, but there's one crucial correction I need to make from. Yeah. So just so everyone knows, like the name that Hayden said was the name of the woman that took her down to that singer was Stella. And it rhymes a lot with Diana's first name, which is, I can't remember actually. Diana Jenkins' full name. Sorry, Ron is having one of those days. Yeah. Sanila, right? So this is her full name here. Just in case anyone was wondering. So Sanela sounds a lot like Stella. Okay. So oh man. Okay. Hayden explicitly describes having a weird friendship with Diana Jenkins around this period. Entertainment Weekly reports that Hayden wrote that Jenkins was almost 30 years older than her and that she met numerous famous people through Jenkins at parties. And Jenkins' own Room 23 archive actually contains, yeah. These are all like big celebrities. Hayden, Diana Jenkins, James Blunt, Jerry Weintraub, Ray Liotta, Lindsay Lohan, Amanda Bynes. Wait. 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 Wait a fucking minute. Hang on. Hang on, everyone. So, okay. Who was photographed but not featured inside the book Room 23? Because they said they photographed over 100 celebrities. Oh. The official Diana Jenkins page describes Room 23 as covering 100 celebrities, but the publicly displayed list of images is only a subset. The project was shot over months in Pennsylvania hotel suite with Anderson working with a small crew, so there was clearly a much larger photographic process behind the final 384-page publication. Because and the only reason I'm getting twisted over that is there's a bunch, like Amanda Bynes is listed as one of the people who was meant to have been photographed. I don't know if she's on the oh no, she is on the original list. So Amanda Bynes was in Room 23. Oh man, there is so much to unpack with all of this. So yeah, Amanda Bynes, that girl that we were just talking about, is also in Room 23. And you know what? I wonder if we're going to see a correlation between people who use their physical appearance as their cry for help. At 8 o'clock, Isaac's on the later show tonight. That's this evening with me, Mimi. Yeah, Ron, you can see the photos. What photos, mate? Oh, the photos of the book. Yeah. 100%. You can see the photos. I'm on our website just now. Ron's so not dialed in to this group of celebrities yet. Ron has spent his entire life focused on child predators and child transportation, breaking out into grown-ups being trafficked and celebrity stuff, and getting all the names dialed in with this new group is really the stage that I'm at. The MO is obvious, right? It's obvious. It stared me in the face, but just getting to grips with it all. Who owned the yacht? I don't know. Let's find out. I'm pretty sure it was. In fact, let's not do that. Who owned the yacht Hayden was on? Okay. Oh, maybe we won't get to know because everyone was nameless, right? Possibly. Okay. If you want to know why Hayden was so messed up, this is why. This is from 2012. This is Diane Jenkins, who went on to be a real housewife. All right. What is this? Oh, we're going to have to download this. It's going to have to be a downloading and made bigger. I hear you, little man. Okay. All right, so now we can blow this up and we can see what this is. I'm pretty sure you'll have all seen this. Ron's probably way behind. Personal friend of the woman down at Jenkins. Doubt you know her, but she's the Rosetta Stone of every... What? Okay. A lot of people... Oh, hang on. Are you guys looking at the right thing? No, you're looking at my fucking face. Brilliant. Here we go. Okay, former B-list television actress who was really big hit TV show a couple of years ago now just seems to float mindlessly and flip between boyfriends. She comes from a broken home, an abusive home. Her dad used to beat her and get into bed with her. Her mum just let it happen because she was being beaten herself and did not want to provoke. Well, now the actress, who is still very young, only seems to date boyfriends who are abusive and willing to hit her. Her last boyfriend, former A-list athlete and B-list name recognition, was so scared that he would kill her. He broke up with her. Her new celebrity boyfriend does not punch nearly as hard, but seems to love it, probably getting his anger out because he's closeted. A lot of people thought it was Hayden. Then came this post. All right. Here we go. Okay, folks, here goes. Let me just stick this on the screen. 1 second. Here we go. Okay, folks, here goes. Excuse the spelling. I'm on an iPhone. Spell check. First, sorry for the unleashing of all this. Second, I'm not judging this young lady. Just saying that help is there for all of us if we accept it, and we won't help ourselves. And third, if the blind item hits and spreads through the web far, it will widely, rapidly. You may have to remove this comment. It caused problems and cannot explain right now. Don't want trouble for NT. I know NT. Where the fuck is NT? Let's get NT on. Is he still? Is his ex still? Is his ex still up? In fact, have I got him on my fucking phone? Hang on a minute. Oh, no, don't. Okay. And third, if this blind item... Is this an empty post? Am I tripping balls? This is Enty's post. Okay. We're reading Enty's post. Okay. Is this what his shit got taken down for? Someone told me his stuff got taken down the other day. Okay, let's see what Enty has to say. So here goes. Yes, is Hayden. 100% totally. I know for a fact the wording of this item is not 100% correct, which may be intentional to deny it legally, but it is close. But there are far more to this than is being mentioned, revealed, or is even hinted at. For all you Google sleuths out there, just look up the past news stories about her dad getting arrested for domestic issues, her mother dropping it. It's not just about a fight, smack, or basic domestic abuse. It's about sexual perversions, videotapes, witnesses, and a loss of money and fame. I'm a former personal friend of a woman named Diane. Whoa. Personal friend of a woman called Diane. Doubt you know her, but she's the Rosetta Stone of every scandal and perversion from Hollywood all over the globe. She is an uber wealthy divorcee whose hubby ran UK's Barclays Bank, and she ran the Arab investors for the bank. She's been running a high-class call girl, party girl for the Arabs, Wall Street, DC Royals, and Hollywood elites. She's also a major philanthropist. Actually, let me just throw up the allegedly here. This sounds like a fucking legal minefield. I don't know. Elites. She's also a major philanthropist, art support, and political donor. She's a social hostess to everyone. Her best Hollywood pals include Sean Penn, Clive Davis, Clooney, Crawford, and her little pet named Hayden. Diana is the connector of wealthy Arabs and Asians and athletes within Hollywood actresses and models. She is also sick and twisted biatch. When Hayden and her own mummy went on the outs, Deanna Jenkins took that place in her life by Hayden's choice. Leslie P is not just a poor victim of this train wreck. Trust me, she's at least 50% responsible, if not more, for encouraging, enabling, and at times even participating in her hubby's twisted effing life. Leslie's kinks cross the line into depravity, illegality, and inhumane sickness, as in Ryan O'Neal, John Phillips, Tish Cyrus, and Dave Schneider territory. Well, isn't that interesting? Because I can't say anything. But wouldn't it be interesting if there was some ties with that woman in a certain island? Just never know. I mean, you never really know who your parents are, right? Really. She's not just, okay. She's not just had chances to stop and walk away with the kids, but she selected to not protect her kids and give into a hedonistic sickness in her bedroom for her own greed. You think Diana Lohan is bad? Diana Lohan. Leslie's guilt is compounded by trying to save her daughter's image so that it does not affect her earning potential and hoovering her own mountain of drugs, booze, fame, and effing from everything with legs. Leslie is as bad as her hubby, maybe worse, because she knew it was wrong but didn't stop it at the time of fueling it. Damn, Auntie. It is easy to argue that Hayden is forever a victim, which drives her own insane life choices. And I'm not a psychologist, but she has taken it further to becoming a willing perpetrator of it and says she loves it. Not just the physical and mental violence she enjoys, but the insatiable appetite for the most bizarre shit you can indulge in. And to top wow. She was offered help by her own, by someone who genuinely cared for her and worried for her. She mocked them and tore off her own streak. Now she craves it and considers nothing taboo. Nothing. Just ask Mario Lopez, right, NT? What? Wait a minute. Mario Lopez. That's Slater. Yeah, that's Slater. Oh man, this is getting creepy. Like, I just wanted to make camping videos. And talk about bushcraft. And now we're here. Now we're fucking here. All right. So, continuing on with this NT-Post Part 2, there is never any excuse for inflicting sick acts upon children of any age. This stuff all began in Hayden's teen years, and her mum was as much part of it as her dad. Leslie's idea of a fun time was a white powder fueled orgy with two young studs, and her daughter and daughter's pals watching or joining in. Leslie preyed on Hayden's boyfriends, and Hayden preyed on 40 to 60-year-old producers, directors, agents, and studio bosses, male and female, even offering one of them an in-home party, even offering one. Hang on a second. Hang on. Okay. All right. So, all this before the age of 19. Meanwhile, dear old dad, with his own substance abuse issues, made sure to tape everything in the house, including Hayden's girlfriends, sleepovers, and quality time in the family jacuzzi pool. When some of her GFs complained, their parents forbade them from ever going into that house again and to the clubs, shopping. Oh, wait a minute. Again, and threatened charges. Then in return, Hayden would snub them out of their circles. So if you wanted to go to the clubs, shopping, swag, and live the high life, you don't rat out the Hayden's sick family. Because after all, everyone wants to be famous, right? Everyone wants to be a celebrity or a BFF hanger on, right? Sorry to unload all of this stuff, but I'm sorry. I'm just sick and tired of all this, and parents who are just so effed up that they breed effed up kids. My family was not Ozzy and Harriet, and it damn near killed me and destroyed everyone I loved. But my pathetic career as a result. But when I realized it was time to take charge and stop the cycle, stop blaming my dad, and be my own person, my life turned out with the help of my amazing wife and some real friends who love me. Oh, your life turned around. Okay. I just wish others could do the same for themselves. Well, I mean, you can't really fucking say that, right? You can't really say, oh, I done it, so why can't you do it? Like, that's the most dumbest shit I've heard in my fucking life. P.S. I have no issue with anything people voluntarily do in their private life as long as it's consenting. Kids and animals cannot consent. I'm not hurting another mentally or physically. I'm no saint, especially in my youth. What does that mean? I'm no saint, especially in my youth, but I'm close to these days, lol. So what does that mean? What does that mean, mate? I'm no saint. You're talking about pedophiles and drug addicts and RJs and private filming. So is that what you're relating to in this? Is that what means that you're no saint? Because that's a wild statement to make in the middle of this rant. Let's just assume that. Let's just assume whoever wrote this is the exact same mindset then, going off there, I'm no saint. Neither was Epstein, neither were the Clintons, little rascals. And all I have to say about, and all I'll say about another old topic, I am not a cross-dresser. Like, random, bro. My wife happens to collect vintage clothing, and it's, who cares if you're clearly a cross-dresser. That's fine. Who cares? My wife happens to collect vintage clothing, and it's tough to surprise her when you share a home and office. But I admit, I do look good in pumps and a dress. Yeah, because you wear women's clothes. Yeah, that's why. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if this is NT or who's wrote this, but this is fucking like a Freudian wet dream. For all of you two diehard Hollywood underground decadents, find all you can about this notorious lady named Sanella Diana Jenkins, the ex-British socialite from the Balkans. Read British media stories about her divorce and ignore the PR fluff about her rags to riches story. Then look at her pics with all her pals who she's with. Connect all the dots and all the blinds, you know. What the fuck? How about publish all the shit you have? Also look into a photo book called Room 23 filled with Hollywood that Diana produced. Look closely at the list of stars who took part in the project. She is a hub on the blind gossip wheel, Rosetta Stone of the socialite. Okay, well, we're going to have to reach out to Andy Lawyer because... Yeah, hang on a minute. Yeah, wild, man. It's wild. Like, the more we just chip away at this, the more insanity we're finding. All right, so I think we now need to take a really good look at all the evidence stacked against Hayden's parents after reading all this. And I just want to say, every single thing that I just read there completely makes sense with regards to everything that was being prepared to be released. So, Oh, the wheels are already turning to reach out to NT. Don't worry. I just can't remember which one of my peeps has got the connection. Oh God. He could have a vendetta against Hayden. Oh, listen, Chaz, we're not going to live in a world where we hear a story that doesn't match our own narrative, and then we're going to say, "Oh, that person's got a vendetta." We're going to go, "I know nothing about this woman's parents. You know nothing about this woman's parents, and we just need to just do our own investigation," if that makes sense. But going by what I was told and what I was preparing to do, all of this makes perfect sense. Complete and utter. That's why I was so shocked when all this kind of broke. Because I was like, well, they've done a really good job of like buttering up their public images. They really, really have. They really, really have. It's just bananas. I'm going to post the Discord link one more time. I'm going to say I'm going to miss that date. Okay. 1 second, everyone. Oh, 1 second. Oh God! Right, it's definitely it's full on bananas. Right, look, I'm fucking withering here, so I think this is a good place to put a pin in this. I think it's a good place to put a pin in this, where we know that Jenkins has got a fairly fluffed up PR narrative about her online. We need to keep digging on that. I'm going to see if Reese will come back on. Oh, Pizza Rollers. You know what you should do, Pizza Rollers? Go to James Blunt's YouTube page, go to his latest music video, and then go to the comment section and have a little read. So, a cheesecake muffin cult. A cheesecake muffin cult sounds great. The tism is withering, yeah. So, yeah, I think it's a good place to put a pin in it. I slept in this morning and never had any food, and I'm withering. Yeah, no, the pooch is good. The pooch is asleep with his face in his water bowl like a fucking rebel. So yeah, I'm going to put the oven on, put something in the oven to eat, and go out and play with the boy, and then get ready for the show tonight. Oh God. So I apologize for my sleepiness. Now, let me just make sure you lovely people will get a little push over to the next show, because it massively improves the algorithm. So look, yeah, I'm going to get coffee. I'm going to go refuel. I will see you all tonight. Cannot wait for to hear Isaac's connections with Hayden and Epstein and all of this. See what his research does. And yeah, love you guys. I just want to say, all of you that are turning up for this daily conversation, I'm going to yawn again. All of you that are turning up for this daily conversation, you are like making my entire world. I just want to say thank you for your support. Molly. Yeah, I've interviewed Enty a few times. I'll reach out to Molly. I've got Molly in my freaking... Yeah. Yo, Molly. I'm actually on a live just now. Your name's just come up in my side chat. I just wanted to message you and touch base. We're talking about the Hayden case, and we were reading through some of Ente's stuff. So I'm just reaching out to you, and I hope you're doing well. Mole, 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 mole. We're back at 8 o'clock, and you'll get a notification at the end of this that will take you over to the next live. I need to go. I am withering. I am withering.net. I could do it with a bit of withering, actually. Like I'm due some withering. Do you know what I'm saying? All right. Love you guys. See you in the next one. Like and subscribe. Do all that stuff. And I'll see you tonight. Love you guys.